Hello everyone. In today's video we're going to talk about an extremely creepy haunted house book. But this also has to do with life and death and love and how far a father would go to protect his family. It is very, very good. It might be one of the best horror books of the year. You certainly don't want to miss it. And we're going to be talking about all that in just a minute. But first, as always, I want to remind you that I have books for sale. You can find the ones you see over there at the link in the description. And if you buy them, I hope you enjoy them. All right, let's get started. All right, so the book I want to talk about today is called The Spite House by Johnny Compton. This is a haunted house book, but even the way it starts out is something completely different, something I thought was unique, something that kept me guessing all the way through the book, as a matter of fact. Because this is about a family. You have the father, you have the two daughters, and we know that there is a wife and a mother somewhere in the picture, but we don't know exactly where she is, or why she isn't with them, or what has happened to make them run away from her, because that's basically what they've done. This father and his two daughters are living a nomadic lifestyle. They have run away from something having to do with the wife and the mother. We don't know what. That's an enduring mystery throughout this book. We'll only get the answers at the end, so you'll have to read to find out. But we know that they travel from place to place. They don't think anybody's really actively looking for them, but they certainly do not want to get caught even by mistake. So they have developed this lifestyle where they would just stop in these towns. He will take a job just enough to get them paid, make sure they can survive so they can move on to the next town. Him and his daughters, one's a little older, she's a teenager, the other one's younger, but they actually go so far as to have emergency drills and have these rules that they must live by, crammed into their heads all the time, to make sure that no mistakes are made, that they are not found out. Now, they don't seem like the kind of people that would be in trouble with the law for something horrible, but the fact that we never know really intrigued me. That's the first thing that really got me about this book. Like, why are these people living this kind of lifestyle? What happened to the wife and mother? Why are they running? Why do they not want to be found? But you'll have little time to wonder that, because they eventually stop in a small town and they get an offer. He gets a job offer that's very intriguing and seemingly one that nobody in their right mind would really want to pass up. There's a house there's a house called the Spite House, and it's owned by a rich older white lady. This family happens to be black, and she wants the family to move in rent-free, all their bills paid, everything they can need taken care of by this rich lady, as long as they move into this house, and all they have to do is record any paranormal events that they think took place in the house. Nothing is too big, nothing is too small. Anything weird they experience, she just wants a detailed report of these happenings, of these supernatural things that happen, if any. So, and at the end, there's going to be a huge payoff. As long as they stay a certain amount of time, rent-free, everything paid for, huge payoff at the end. And, you know, this is a family that doesn't necessarily believe in the supernatural, so for them, it's kind of a no-brainer. It's like, yes, we finally have some stability. We're going to stay in this house for a certain amount of time. And all we have to do is, like, record anytime we hear tapping on the wall, or, you know, we think we shut the door, but now it's open, something like that. Pretty easy, pretty simple. But of course, if that was the case, this wouldn't be a horror book. The house is kind of weird, I got to tell you that. It's a taller house, but it's very narrow. Sits on top of a hill, kind of lopsided. The whole structure and the whole inside, the whole architecture seems to be a little off. It's a little claustrophobic and confusing when you get inside, especially in the upper floors. But they figure that's okay. We can deal with that because this is going to be a massive payday. And we won't have any worries in this small town because we'll be hidden away here at this house. But of course, things start happening slowly but surely, and they keep ramping up and ramping up to the point where there are some nights they can't even stay in this house. He loves his daughters very much. This much we know from the outset. And at one point things get so horrifying in that house that he sends the girls to stay with this rich lady in her mansion, kind of. She has a big mansion with servants and everything. He sends them to stay over there, and he decides to stay in the house. He's going to take care of the situation. He's going to find out what's going on. And we'll find out what's going on. We'll discover the secrets along with them. We'll find out exactly what caused these things to happen in this house, how they are involved in it, and what the consequences are to them for agreeing to this and staying in the house. And that's when things get extra creepy. And I'm not going to give away the ending, but the ending, it will just show you how far this father will go to protect his daughters. He's promised to do that. We'll find out exactly why they had to leave and live this kind of lifestyle. That just adds to the tragedy of this whole situation. And the end is very scary, but it's also very heartbreaking when we see what has to be done in order for his daughters to survive. He's going to have to make a huge, huge sacrifice. That's all I'll say about that. I absolutely love this book. I thought it was full of intrigue, full of chills. You had that mystery of why they're living this lifestyle, mixed with all these ever-increasing supernatural happenings that go from just noises and knocks and maybe seeing things out of the corner of your eye, but all of a sudden it becomes much more worse, much more malevolent, and something that they know could cause them great physical harm. They do feel in fear for their lives after a while. This is probably going to be one of the best horror books of 2023. It was just that good. And haunted house books are kind of a dime a dozen. It's one of those tropes that everybody talks about. But when an author can take other issues, add it to the horrifying situation inside of these places that have the supernatural presences, I always admire that. I'm always down for that. I will always, always love it. And this book does that fantastically. You're going to be behind this family. You're going to be rooting for this family, even though at first you don't know what their situation is. They are just great. They are written as characters wonderfully, fully fleshed out and well-rounded. And in many ways, even though they have this lifestyle, they are a tight-knit, close, regular, normal family. They just happen to have this big secret that's following them wherever they go. And it will also show you that sometimes making that easy kind of money, something that should be innocuous and not that difficult, could wind up to be the worst decision of your life. So there's that element involved as well. Yes, I highly, highly recommend The Spite House by Johnny Compton. And you can find a link down below where you can purchase your copy through Amazon. And I highly recommend that you do. It's fantastic. And as always, I want to say thank you for taking some of your time, spending it here with me. I really appreciate you guys watching. And until we meet again, keep reading spooky, my friends.